Hello.
Hi.
Okay.
Yep. Wow. And welcome to House Rolls, where a bunch of us nerds from the four corners of the U.S. play a pedestrian homebrewed game of D&D 5e. We are super happy to have David back with us this week. Woo!
Thank you.
After recovering.
Unfortunately, having David back with us cost us the souls of two of our friends. So
Yeah, I scared a
Yeah.
couple people off.
Yep. They are currently in an asylum recovering, but they will be back with us next week, hopefully, provided that the agenda for their, own health is pursued. But with that, we'll go ahead and start up today. Go ahead and crank up some music here. And last we left, you all had visited with Lythira, who was the daughter of the ambassador for the Vorin Kingdom, across the pond over at Erlon in the Lore region. After a brief conversation with her, you all discovered that she was leaning towards a preemptive non-guilty jurisdiction, being part of the jury. You also found out that she is also in frequent communication with Thomas, who is a halfling that you all had met gambling a few nights before, and who also seems to know Antoine a bit. So between the two of them, you feel as though you have a little bit of leeway as far as getting Paru to a not guilty judgment. With that, however, you'll have the rest of the day. Antoine himself tells you all that he is going to be taking care of a few connections. He's going to try to see what he can do as far as spreading rumors and maybe creating a sort of public image for Paru that might increase their chances of success in the jury as well. So he has gone off. Icklin, however, is walking with you all, and he begins to kind of trudge. And for those of you that are that can see, his eyes are kind of going blank. Even in his body language, it becomes almost like monotonous, like mechanical. And he just kind of, it's almost like he's lost the color that Icklin seems to always possess. With that, you have the rest of the day ahead of you. How would you all like to finish up your last hour or so of the evening?
Well, Paru is not with us, correct, right now?
No, Paru is not with you.
Okay.
There is something going on there.
Yep.
Well, Orchid, do you have any other ideas for releasing him? I was going to perhaps snoop around maybe the gambling tent, if it was still there, see if what witnesses may have said, maybe what they had heard, see maybe what context was lost whenever the journalist lady wrote her paper. Maybe get a little bit more information that way.
I was gonna go talk to Nyara Amaryl. An Amaryl is on the jury, and maybe she would know.
Yes. Why don't we go do that first? That is most important. I remember talking about that. We'll go do that first. Yes?
Okay.
Lead the way.
And I'll head to the Amaryl house, homestead.
All right, excellent. You guys make your way through the town. It does seem that there are some people who are kind of there is some small amount of celebrating. For you, Orchid, you can, just the sounds that you're used to hearing on an evening, people in Nuren like to party every night, and that is definitely not the case here. The tone here is very different. There's a little bit more seriousness, which, happens every so often when a big story hits the paper. People stay at home, with their families, out of combination of fear or any other strong emotion. with that, you make your way over to the Grand Estate. Do you make your way in the inside, or do you go in the back way?
I would go in the way I normally go in.
Okay. So you make your way to the back. Of course, the guard knows you. That is an inconsequential interaction for you. He does look to your adjacent individuals, though. Kind of looks, or he looks to you for approval, and then he realizes he needs to say something. He says, "Oh, are they with you, Orchid?"
Yeah, they're with me.
All right. Well, head on in. You know where your room is. You've been here enough. Do you need anything?
No, I'm good, thank you.
Kind of nods and backs away, opens the gate with plenty of room for you all to make your way through.
Okay, I'll head in, and I'll kind of head into a more family area, I guess, rather than like my guest room or whatever it might be.
Mm-hmm.
And see if I can listen for any Amaryl voices that I recognize, and if not, possibly people in the house that I can get to direct me to. Nyara, preferably.
Yeah. It's not terribly difficult for you. Nyara has made it very evident to you that, you know, you are welcome anywhere in the home for the most part, and she is very hospitable towards you. So without too much effort, you're able to persuade the butlers to make your way over to her. She appears to be kind of winding down for the evening in the very courtyard that you visited a couple nights, or was it just last night, I guess, in game, and kind of go into this beautiful scenic garden that you two see. It's got a number of vines. It's got almost these Roman style pillars, kind of placed at different heights. There's a style here that's almost mimicking agedness, but without too much inspection, you can tell these are new. You know, it's very much just a cosmetic aging process that has been done to these. There are vines that wind up beautifully. Hedges are trimmed to perfection, some in fun shapes. And there are a number of very colorful flowers that just kind of dot the landscape of this courtyard. She sits over there with a wine glass and a wine bottle.
Keadim will make sure that you have this cloak and cowl off, so that way it doesn't look quite as menacing. But it's also much more apparent, if it wasn't already, that he is in fact a birdman.
Okay. You have giant wings. It's kind of hard to tell.
And the beak, kind of.
Yeah, I mean, the beak is a dead giveaway, but now the cloak is off, so the wings are plainly visible too.
The wings are also huge, so even under the cloak, they're kind of...
I know, either I look like a hunchback or I look...
Yeah, you
like
could pull it off.
Birdman.
It looks like nothing to me.
She treats me like nothing as well.
Oh, well, hello there, hon. Would you like a glass of wine? I am just having fun. Just enjoying the night before tomorrow's fiasco.
Actually, that's what I wanted to talk to you about. I was wondering, you know, how you were gonna vote.
Sit down, hon. Sit down.
I'll go over and sit down. I'm pretty familiar with the garden.
Are these your friends?
Oh yeah, this is well, Icklin is my friend, and Kate am I kind of tagging along.
I'm an acquaintance of Orchid's.
Well,
Not a friend.
your beak is very well shaped, very flattering.
I think...
Paru! That's the one. I know what you're gonna say. He's your friend. You're wondering how I'm gonna vote. I'm not so sure I should tell you, especially with someone new here. make a persuasion check to see if she will open up. You get advantage because she is very intoxicated. Well, slightly intoxicated. She's not
Fine
gone, but
clothes
she
on,
is.
so I look rather dapper here.
Yeah.
I don't know if it helps.
Take that at
13.
advantage. Oh yeah, that's not
I
bad.
said I like playing charisma characters, not that Orchid is stacked for charisma. Because she is not.
You can tell that as you kind of sit down, and she kind of almost talks herself into telling you anyways, despite the fact that it's kind of like not appropriate. She's like, well, Orchid, I have to think about the company and hells, like whatever I vote reflects on, the winery. And if, it's so split right now, I don't even know if there's a way to diplomatize my way out of this one.
Oh, no, I was there, and it definitely didn't go down the way that the papers are saying.
Doesn't surprise me. That bitch. She, don't get me wrong, she does favors for us, but they cost, let me tell you.
Well, I mean, isn't it going to hurt you in the end if it's known that Paru worked for you, even if it was for those brief moments?
To be perfectly honest, I don't think it's gonna be that difficult to talk people out of believing that it was just a mistake and that we got rid of him real quick, That I don't think that plays into things here. Listen, you two, listen. This is really important. You don't just go spreading this around, okay? But Monica Glass, she almost always has an agenda, and you can sway that agenda through favors, through means of money or errands for her. Look, I'm not gonna lie, my conscience is a little woo up there, but Orchid, I trust you. Would you tell me what happened, just so I have a clearer picture, something maybe a little less biased?
Well, Christu attacked Paru. She came into the gambling hall and made a scene. She hurt Paru pretty bad, and so I hit her with my staff more than once. And then she fell. And apparently died from her wounds.
Oh goodness.
If you don't mind, I could also speak to the magic that was used, because I think that's what's at the center of this case, isn't it? Is the enchantment magic?
That is the issue that's focused on. I mean, both charges are going to be brought up against him, but that is the one that's going to get him.
Well, in all
Paru
fairness,
didn't do it.
I mean, flatly speaking, he didn't. It required someone to control Christu, to have bracelets. I think anyone there will speak to the fact who was witnessing it. Paru doesn't wear bracelets. He doesn't have anything.
Nah.
Last I checked. But Krista, last I checked, wore plenty of jewelry all along his arms.
You
And the
said Crowis?
Yes.
Oh, hon, he's out of town. Have you not?
I know.
He's they're theorizing Paru has him like hidden away somewhere. They think that that's another aspect. There's a whole. I just had dinner with the Taxonaries, and whew, that was not a fun time.
So, what are the charges that are going to be leveled against Paru? Because it's not, everyone knows about the enchantment charge, but I guess not everyone knows about all the charges that are going to come
Well,
to
the main
him.
charge is going to be the enchantment charge, which has, there are several infractions about that. But the murder of Christy is going to come up, and no one really knows what happened, so there's not, super great evidence there, and people are not trying to, make something out of nothing there. That one's not flying. It's that this is going to elicit fear out of people, and I don't know. Have you guys ever been involved in a case here, in a trial?
No.
It's the biggest building in town. It houses thousands of people. Like, there are going to be a lot of people watching, and it's going to be a high pressure situation.
It's going to be an event.
Exactly, and that's just how things are done here, unfortunately. But do you want some wine?
No, thank you.
All right.
I don't think we...
I'm having a Sauvignon Blanc. Anyways. She kind of pauses and loses her train of thought. This would be a really good opportunity. I would say, Orchid, you with your feature again, having insight, is that this is a really good time to ask her questions. She is very soft but still coherent, and she might be slipping from that soon.
That would be what questions to ask.
I know. Gotta put you on the spot.
Dun 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 dun.
Change of music to battle music.
Icklin and Keadim are welcome to ask questions.
I believe that Paru has crows held up somewhere. Is what's happening. So basically, he's got magic, murder, and all that. And with stone enchantment magic, it's all too easy for him to skip town. That's such a
But didn't we were trying to prove that the bracelets didn't go to Paru.
Unfortunately, the same evidence that we don't have that would exonerate him should also be the evidence that would incriminate him. I guess, Miss Estrathello,
Oh,
Cameron.
don't you dare mention that name in this fucking household. They are so messed up. Oh my gosh, I haven't even told anyone because they are threatening the family. Oh my gosh.
I sincerely...
Wow, They said they're involved with that sketchy crowd. Not like petty theft kind of stuff. Like, we're talking sophisticated poisons and whatnot. It's no, it's one of the reasons I'm trying to get them out of business. 'Cause that's not right.
Were they involved in any enchantment magics?
Not that I'm aware. They could be, though. They could be.
Do the Taxonari family, do they have any close relations with many of the major families of the city?
Taxonaries, they've always been case asses. Lower nobles, they've never been that powerful, but they're in with everyone. You know, their closest connection to like a higher noble family is the Venestra family, and they just had dinner because the Venestra family lost their son, and the Taxonaries just lost their daughter, so now they're bonding over that shit. So
the likely biggest source of scrutiny is going to come from the Venestran family.
the Venestra family is not going to be very kind. They're going to be a hard one to sway if you go that direction. They've almost certainly made up their mind about everything, along with the Taxonaries.
Who hasn't made up their mind?
Well, let's see. Will you bring? Do you have the paper with you? I need the list.
It's Ira.
The Ira
Keadim?
family and Estrothello family, they're in close, and they're probably gonna vote guilty. If I had to guess, just because it keeps the order. So those two are probably set. The elves are all over the place. I have no idea what they're gonna vote. The Von Cooies are all about causing a ruckus, so they're probably gonna vote not guilty.
Alvani.
Alvani's the elves. Sorry, that was loud.
So they're undecided.
The elves are undecided, but elves just as much as a lot of us have our elven heritage, they just they live a different lifestyle.
The Pitoffs.
Pitof, they're new. They're from the Wandergans.
We already know.
Oh.
Keadim.
Oh, do we?
Yeah, that's
They've
Antoine.
made up their decision? Can't blame him. You almost have to go into these things knowing a decision, because, you know, once you made a decision, the public just paints you a certain way.
Yes,
Well,
I
the
remember that one.
one who's voting actually witnessed the entire thing from the pizza laughs.
Really?
Yeah, so
Huh.
he actually knows what happened.
Right.
And saw this bracelet and everything.
That's really interesting. That's very odd that they would have a jury member also be a witness.
Oh, I don't think they're going to call him.
Oh. It's too bad. Might help provide some clarity. Probably not allowed to, though.
I mean, I was right there and they haven't called me. Or any of us.
I wouldn't be surprised if you found out tomorrow morning. Especially the Taxonaries are counting on my family to vote with them. Not gonna lie. Oh wait, no. Not Taxon... Who did...
Venestra?
Oh! I had dinner with both the Taxonari and Venestra. No. It's like she's slipping. She's like misinformation is bound to come up. If you guys want, you can make an insight check as she relays information to kind of sift through that at this point in the conversation. But
1 second.
anyways, Richter family, I don't know.
We should leave you to a drink. Hopefully you vote not guilty. I know there's a lot of political things. But I know Paru didn't do any of it.
Listen, Orchid, I really you have no idea. My heart just goes out to you. I'm gonna tell you what, if you can get Monica Glass on your side, 100% I will vote Paru. If I see Monica Glass and I talk with her and she looks on writing something favorable for Paru, I will vote with you. Because if she can turn the majority of people in town, so that's a guarantee if you're looking for that from me, because I want to support you, but also I want what's best for my business, because what's best for my business is what's best for the people, because we don't need those Estrothellos up there. So deal?
I mean, I'll do my best.
Orchid, you are such a good-hearted person. I'm sure if there's anyone that can change her mind, it's you.
Before we head off, do you know any of the other families who might be looking to maybe advance themselves by maybe voting against the mainstream right now?
Other families, I'm not too close in with everyone, but I do know the names. I do know each person that will be on the jury. I was privy to that information, who they're calling. So it'll be Alex Ira, who is the oldest son. So that's interesting, because that almost has like a context of. Next is Viren Estrothello. He's the husband. Chadwick Venestra, Thomas Von Cui, Lithira Alvani, Talid Vallejo. She's always been kind of a social justice person. She might really be easy to set up. Celeste Rictum, she and Barbara Smith, they're both lower nobles. You know, they're gonna look to get in with a family, so the best way to convince them is gonna be showing that you have support of some bigger deal families. Does that make sense? So that'll be, you know, they're gonna have a wine break for those of us on the jury because it's stressful. If you can find a way to bus or serve or be in there when those conversations are happening and steer them toward people of like mind, that might help you. That might help you. Am I making sense?
You are making perfect sense.
Really?
Cal, can you offer to type me those names?
I need more drinks. She just like full on just like pours a glass and just chugs it down.
Can you type me their names? Because I did not get all those in time.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I'll do that. I'll do that during break. Remind me then.
Okay.
So, with that, what are you all staying around, or are you gonna watch her slip into her stupor. You can see that
Absolutely not.
Okay. There, you can see that there are some guards, or sorry, more butlers than anything else, although that's not quite the right term. There are some gentlemen that kind of come out and like position themselves, and like you can see they're like well muscled and well built, and they kind of just stand right next to the door and just kind of keep an eye on her. You've noticed every once in a while that there are people stationed to take care of noble families in various situations when they get super drunk or whatever. So she's gonna black out, she's gonna be carried upstairs likely. But with that, you guys make your way out of the Emerald Estate. You are ever so politely conducted out, and it is here that we're gonna shoot over to Paru. So Paru, you are taken from the moment in the house that you stood there defending Christu's wealth, the items that were hers out of respect. You find yourself gagged and tied, and you are wrapped and held by a number of arms. You're tied up with several ropes. It's a hodgepodge job is the first thing you notice. Like the ropes are all different sizes. You're tied around way too many times for it to have been efficient. You are kind of waking up in this dull, dank room, and there is like taste of some kind of alcohol-y material on your lips. You get the feeling you were drugged. As you come to, you slowly blink away all of the fuzziness, if you will, and there's no one in the room. You're tied to a chair. What do you do?
Tied to a chair. Well, he's going to look around. Are there any grates, cracks, holes? How many doors, windows, things like that?
There are windows. They are barred. As your eyes are just kind of adjusting, there seems to be one that's about maybe a foot and a half in both dimensions, making roughly a square in shape. That's barred. You also see that in front of you there is a full set of rusted iron bars, an entire wall conducted out of them, and a jail door.
Has there been any conversation that you and I had discussed in messages?
No, that actually hasn't. We're gonna explore that now.
Okay.
Or some of that now.
Okay. And so there's no one else in the cell or within his sight right now?
Yes, there's no one there, at least for the time being.
Okay. Paru is going to wild shape into a spider, essentially shrinking himself. Okay. And he's going to start climbing up the wall, heading towards the barred window.
Okay. As you do so, you can hear some footsteps that are kind of filing into the hallway. As you hear a number of voices who seem to be very, very casual, does that change your course of action here at all?
Well, I guess what I should check is, does this look like a legitimate cell, or is he being held in like some does this seem like an official type of civic building, like an actual prison, or does this look like just some shed or some dank place? Like, would Paru be able to intuit that in some way?
Yeah, let's see a perception check.
Okay.
As you just kind of analyze your surroundings real quick.
Sure. Any disadvantage or anything?
No, this will just be flat.
Okay.
22. 22. Yes. After your eyes adjusting, you finding your wits about you, you get partway up the wall as the spider, and you're looking around. You realize this is an official prison. This is not, you know, it's not like you were just taken by a bunch of thugs. Somehow, somewhere along the way, you were put into an actual cell.
Okay. He will. That's kind of way wild shape, but yeah, he's going to revert back to his tabaxi shape. But he is, at least for the time being, no longer tied up since he kind of shrunk too small for the ropes to bind him.
Okay.
So he is currently just up against the wall, unbound.
Gotcha. Okay. So you said you put the ropes back on?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, they're just on the floor, and he is just leaning against the wall now, unbound.
Okay, gotcha. As the sunset kind of gleams in from the window that you almost left through, a couple of guards kind of come in. Hi! What are you doing out of your chair?
Paru looks around. They fell off.
Fuck. Who did the knot job? It was those. Oh, I knew we shouldn't have hired him. I knew it. As you're kind of in this, the guards around this individual seem very absent-minded, if you will. Like they're almost moving in a way that is non. It's very sluggish and mechanic as well. It's similar, not dissimilar to. Wait, you haven't seen Iklin. Never mind. But meta, it's not dissimilar to Iklin. So.
Paru will just sit back in the chair and say, "That is okay. I will not leave."
Make a deception or persuasion check. Whichever one is sensible here.
4.
Okay. Do you have a modifier? Or is that with modifier?
That was with the modifier.
Oof. Okay. Look. She just kind of opens the door. Look now, you can't be doing this. Get back in the fucking chair, you idiot. And she kind of like, you know, with a hand that is surprisingly strong, kind of thrusts you into the chair. Do you go willingly?
Yeah.
Okay. They begin to tie the knots around you again. And as they finish, she kind of clubs you across the back of the head. Don't try that again. Understood?
Oh. Yes.
As she kind of begins to go, good. Well, we'll keep watch. I'm gonna go run my other and see just these other stupid fucking prisoners. She just kind of
Paru take damage.
Yes, you took 3.
Bludgeoning.
Yep,
Thank
3
you.
bludgeoning, and she leaves. As she does, there is a brief moment where 3 guards kind of hang out behind the gates. One of them, like almost like a puppet, begins to put their hand towards their belt, pulls the keys off, puts the key in, opens the door. Another one sluggishly goes in and takes out a knife, begins to cut your bonds.
Paru's just going to look at this person really confused, as he was literally just tied up and is now getting cut free, he's going to remain in his chair.
It's now that you realize, it's like in this lighting as they all get closer, all of them are completely covered. There is no inch of visible skin here. Which is abnormal.
Sure.
Like, not all guards are wearing their helmets down and everything and completely obscured most of the time.
Yeah, Paru will just kind of sit there, as he had already mentioned that he wasn't going to leave, and he just got clubbed in the head for sitting down, so he's not going to dare try to escape now.
Okay. You can hear awkward groans coming from the one in front of you, and it's like words are starting to form. It's like somebody trying to talk without like full faculty of their mouth, like it's numb, and it slowly comes into focus, and finally you begin to hear words spoken to you. Come. Get out. Now.
Haru's going to look up at this figure and, like, is it a veil covering his face, or is it just like his
It's a
helmet?
helmet.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a helmet.
He's going to stand up, and he's going to like slowly and like kind of have his paws up to try to not be threatening as possible. He's going to try to lift up the helmet to look at the face of the person that is cutting him free.
Okay. As you begin to reach up towards the visor, you can see like the arm twitches like it's trying to stop you, but the full faculty is not there. And as you do, inside you see what looks like a partially decayed skull. The sockets themselves are almost completely empty, which explains why there wasn't any light glimmering even from the little slits behind the visor. As you look at it, you see elements of like seaweed, elements from like the ocean floor that are tied around it, like this body came from deep below the waters. It's got a few places where it's eroded, a few places where like a couple dark spots have started to develop some kind of mold. But yeah.
Okay, well, getting commanded by a dead person to get out is enough for him. He is going to kind of look about, just see if there's anyone like the guard who had previously clubbed him. And I guess the other question is, does this person who cut him free, is he wearing the same type of garb and clothes as the other guard who clubbed him?
Yeah, it's all the same clothing.
Okay.
They're adorned in the same way. They just have extra coverage on their faces, essentially.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, that's what I thought. Just want to make sure. So he will look at give the undead jailer, whatever he is, kind of like the side eye. Not sure if you should say thanks and like patting him on the shoulder. So there's just this awkward. Very and he's going to start running.
Okay. As you give the side eye, they hold out a piece of paper.
Oh, well, he will grab it then.
Okay.
And take a look at it.
Inside, it says, "Meet me north of the city before tomorrow morning. We'll get you back so they'd know you never left."
Okay, that's ominous, but sure. Yes, Paru will proceed with stepping out, kind of looking out of the hallway that he is now in. And he's going to go in the opposite direction of the jailer who had clubbed him.
Okay.
So if the jailer went right, he's going to go left.
Gotcha. Sounds good. Go ahead and make a stealth check for me. And are you using any spells or abilities to do this?
You know what? Yeah. He's going to mutter an incantation upon himself. And I should have brought up the words and what have you. But he's going to cast Guidance to give himself an additional D4.
Nice.
On
Yeah.
the stealth check.
A wall of calm sweeps over you as adrenaline strikes you.
What's that? Yeah. 18 total.
Okay. 18 total. As you leave, you are able to dodge and dive out of several interactions that you otherwise might have had to have. As you make your way northwards, you eventually find that from some sort of alleyway, you actually see Orchid and Keadim coming, well, and Icklin actually as well, who is almost behaving in a way not dissimilar to those guards. Now that's applicable. But you see them through like a slight gap in the alleyway across the way.
Okay. Yeah, Paru will kind of quickly, but trying to maintain his stealth, just kind of like pad his way over to them, and he's going to stay in the alleyway, but he's going to get as close as he can, and he says, "Psst. Orchid, Icklin, Keadim."
Do we hear this?
Yeah, oh yeah, like that's directed at you, yeah.
Paru?
Yes, I'm over here.
Shall we? Walk over to him.
I'll follow the others.
Where have you been, Paru?
They grabbed me inside the house and they beat me and tied me up, and then they threw me inside a cell.
Who's they?
I'll be honest, I don't know. Just, when I was in Christu's home, I had a bag put over my head, and I didn't see who exactly grabbed me, but then I was inside the jail, and they hit me in the back of the head, this jailer, and then after the jailer had left, another one had come and cut me free and handed me this note, and he's going to show them the note.
Okay.
Well, show to Icklin and
Sounds like a piece of paper.
yeah, Icklin and Keadim, and then he will read the note aloud for Orchid.
Do I recognize any of the handwriting on the note at all?
Give me investigation check, I believe, for that.
I don't have my dice. I guess I got to roll on roll 20. Investigation.
Gotta have him.
That will be an 8, I think.
8. All right. You don't recognize any of the handwriting. It's not familiar to you.
Oh wait, do I have advantage on that because
Yeah.
of my target insight?
I thought that was
okay.
with advantage. Yeah, you would have advantage because
No,
you're a
it was
feature.
not with advantage. It was then I got a 20 instead.
20. Still, although you analyze it for elements, it's almost like grasping for straws. You're accessing a lot of your brain's capacity to remember things right now. Nothing that has passed your mind seems to be on this paper, at least not consistently, so you do not recognize the handwriting here, but you know that you've analyzed it real well.
I gotta say, I do not recognize who wrote this. I know a few shady characters underground, but I don't know who this is.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing is the one who set me free, the one who cut my bindings, they told me to go, but I don't want to say it was a he or she. It was a dead person. Like I lifted the visor and it was just bones.
A necromancer?
How are you getting mixed up with necromancy and enchantment, Paru?
I'm not mixed up with enchanting. This was something that Christu got caught up in. I don't know anything about it, and this necromancy, all I know is that's who cut me free. I don't know who sent it over to me.
They're having a trial for you tomorrow.
For what? I don't even know what I did.
They're
Papers
going,
say that you enchanted Christu.
they're also going to imply that you murdered her and that you are holding Croas captive.
I know that I'm not the smartest person in town, but is the city really that stupid?
The city
Almost
will
am.
believe. I apologize, Croas. Orchid. The city will probably believe, to a degree, what's in the papers. At least that's going to be the story that everyone knows about. No one's going to know about any other story other than that one.
Why is the paper lying then?
Quite simply, they were probably bought off. I think. I mean, that's what
More sensationalism.
yeah. That's what the Emerald told us. Paper will be bought off if a family believes that it will favor them.
Yeah, Nyara said we might be able to change things if we could convince Monica Glass, but we don't have any money. Unless
Who's
Keadim
Monica
Erkling's
Glass?
been holding out on us. She's the reporter.
Oh, the one who wouldn't help me.
Icklin at this point kind of stands there, face just emotionless, but like his arm reaches up gently and just like sets on Paru's arm. You can feel the thumb twitching.
Icklin?
How long has he been like that?
Like what? Quiet?
Like, not Icklin. Normally he would be shouting about drinking by now.
He's just been like that for the past few hours. I assumed he was just having a crash, per se.
Can Paru investigate Icklin and find out what's going on with him?
Yeah, go for it. Let's see an Arcana check.
Oh, fantastic.
Yes, I didn't even notice. We were so busy thinking about fixing things.
Honestly,
16?
getting you out of jail.
What was it?
16?
16. There is another consciousness in Icklin right now. As far as you can tell, there is nothing that is maniacal or harmful, but there is somebody else operating the body right now.
I'm sorry, but this is not exactly Icklin.
What do you mean?
He's, I don't know who, but he seems to be controlled. The, like, his, like, he's there and he's aware, but he is being, there, like, the muscle movements and the sounds that he may have been making seem very similar to the guard that I encountered in the cell, where this isn't completely Icklin.
A possession?
It doesn't mean he's dead, does it?
No.
Can
Still here. You hear in Icklin's voice.
Would Paru know from the 16 if the person who's controlling Eklund's consciousness, if they're able to see and hear everything that we're discussing?
You would, I would say your educated guess in this situation would be like, yeah, that's, a lot of the time, why else would you inhabit a body other than to experience life? So.
Yeah, Clint, are you okay?
I think he'll be okay, but we may have someone someone who's curious about our discussion.
Who's in there?
Friend.
It is likely that ever since in recent years, the spirits come out more actively. It's very likely that they can't maintain this position for long. It takes too much energy, so
I see.
Can I make an Arcana check, I guess, to figure out how long this might last, or if this is in fact just general possession, basically?
Mm-hmm. You can make an Arcana check. You won't learn anything necessarily more. You're probably gonna have to consult an expert unless you get a really high roll. Like, you would have to exceed Paru's by a few points to learn more, but it is possible.
Let's see what I got here. That is a 19.
19. On top of what Paru knows, you understand that this is a little bit more sustainable because Icklin has consented.
It seems with this kind of magic, Icklin has allowed whatever it is to inhabit his body. So Icklin trusted whoever or whatever
Well, then
this was.
why won't it tell us who it is?
I'm not 100% sure if he can, or if the person inhabiting him has the strength to, considering how
He
struggled.
said friend. They could have easily said some other word, like a name.
I don't know.
That's all you hear.
Looks like he's trying to say. I feel like I must.
I want all of you to make perception checks real quick.
Even me?
Yes, because there's an oral element to this.
Oh, thank you, Bill. Bilbo. You. Hold on, let me roll. Let me
I'm giving you a
roll.
lucky rub, mother.
10.
10?
All right, come on back down.
12.
12?
I'll pet you down here.
Keadim?
5.
Oof.
Okay. As you guys are sitting there, you notice nothing out of the ordinary. Part of continue.
I have a plus
Well,
freaking 6. That's
I know, I have a +5. we both had terrible. Well, we all had terrible rolls. Paru says, Well, I
Reaper.
must meet my benefactor before apparently returning to my cell and getting justice. If you would like to speak with that reporter and try to convince her otherwise, I would be indebted to you. Otherwise, if you feel that it will lead to my execution, then for your own safety, maybe you should just forget you ever met me.
Not gonna forget you, Paru. It's just I don't have any money. Bribe her. Not enough to bribe. I have a little savings, but it's not gonna bribe her. Thank you, Papa.
You
I would say this. Why not go talk to her? We may not be able to offer a monetary bribe. We may have to offer services, though. We will see how much she is asking.
I'm not gonna be in disservice with anyone else like I am now.
I would.
didn't know you were in service of anyone else, Orchid. But I would not ask you to do that for me.
I have things I could potentially offer. If it came to that, I'd rather not have to make those kind of arrangements.
I'm willing to try, but I have nothing to offer.
We can talk to her.
Oh.
And we can see what she is asking for a price.
Where are you all
She
at?
may-
Are you in like the alleyway? Have you been walking somewhere? Okay, so you just stayed there? Okay.
We're just in the alley.
All I can say is you have all done plenty at this point for me, and I cannot thank you enough. But if you feel that there is hope in talking to her, then we can stop by there. But at some point, I must meet this other person who has asked me to meet them before sunrise.
Well, there's plenty of time until sunrise, so. And she will have to print a paper by morning, so that way word gets out. So let's talk to her first to maybe see if we can do anything. If not, then we will talk to your benefactor and see if we get anything then. Hopefully by then I will get a response to my letter to see if we got any other information. See if there was a family we were able to swing potentially.
I am indebted.
Okay.
Paru, I'm sorry for what I did.
Orchid, you saved my life, and I do not blame you for what happened. In the end, I had the chance to try to bring her back, and I chose not to. That was my decision. You made the decision to protect your friend, and I thank you for that.
Alright. Cal, is my cloak require attunement to use?
Your cloak of
Cowl?
your cowl of disguise? No, it does not actually. I think.
I will give it to Keadim so that way he can disguise himself. So that way he can walk.
Paru.
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 You're Keadim.
Okay.
Yes. Paru. Names. My god.
I mean, even if it did require attunement, like you have the time to do it here. So, yeah.
I will give my cowl to Paru and be like, imagine who you want to be. It will disguise you as so.
That is tough. I've never imagined being anyone else.
Well, your unknown walking around the city is going to get you into a lot of trouble.
That is a good point. And Paru will think of the visage that he met Keadim under initially, so he is going to look like the half-elf that he saw Keadim disguise himself as.
Okay. Nice.
Favorite of mine.
All right.
Indeed.
As you all kind of finish up talking and begin heading northwards, or actually no, heading towards Monica's, you realize none of you know where she lives. So
Nope.
I will figure that out real quick.
Okay.
And she certainly doesn't live on my side of town.
You mean Paru didn't just know her just by being the street rat that he is? I'm kidding.
Crap, I'm not sure if that works.
What?
I was going to try use Animal Messenger to just send Sirocco to her, and then I just follow behind, but I don't think that's gonna work.
You have to know the general area and you have to know what they look
Yeah.
like, right? I mean,
Yeah.
technically, you know she's in Nuren, so I feel like that's actually.
Do I need the qualifications for that?
I think you would, yeah. So
Okay.
that's
I
I never thought
will-
about it that way. Actually, it's really creative.
That's actually really clever.
I will summon Sirocco.
Okay.
And to satisfy the means of the message, I will give him a message to speak. And it'll basically be like, I found you.
Okay.
And I will send him off to find I'll send him off to find her.
Okay. So the way that this is gonna have to be done is I need to know, are you trying to do this stealthily? And this will require, you can either take to the skies and get disadvantage on stealth, but like not lose track of the owl, because the owl goes without you. The owl just goes. Or
Yeah.
you can succeed on the stealth check and have a straight roll to follow Sirocco. So it's either a survival or a stealth check here. Which one do you want to take?
I will take the stealth check.
Okay, so as you go up into this, the skies, take your stealth check at disadvantage because you are having to kind of direct people underneath of you to like through the alleyways, so it's a little bit of a maze almost. So go ahead and make that for me.
15. $15.
15. Okay. All right, sounds good. That's good enough. You guys take about 15-20 minutes and make your way, oddly enough, kind of in a northwestern direction. So you're actually kind of moving towards the direction you needed to anyways. As you reach the house and Sirocco flies in through seemingly an open window in the upper floor, so maybe it's a little safer there. How are you getting in? How are the three of you getting in here?
Is it just a normal door?
Yeah,
House with a door on it?
just a very mundane looking house. It is not abnormally rugged. It's not abnormally well kept either. It almost seems like it's intended to blend in.
Keadim will just go up and knock on the door.
Okay. As you do, you hear,
Do we have a plan?
fuck.
Talk to her. Talk to her. That's all we can do.
You hear a deep sigh come from inside and a brief as the door opens, and she just kind of stands there with a hand on a hip and just looks at you. As you look at her, full face of makeup, she is already ready to go for the day. She has like a makeup brush in hand. What?
Sorry. Could we borrow a moment of your time?
Tell me real quick why it's worth my time. Real fast, because I have some things I gotta get done.
You can talk with the Canaan cat.
She kind of looks at the three of you and looks at the half-elf, at the Illithrin. Well, that's mighty clever. This is an excellent disguise. She kind of pokes and prods various points where the illusion doesn't quite match with your physicality.
Hey,
Come
I'm
on
borrowing
in.
this.
Come on in. And she just kind of leads the way in very gently. Do you all follow?
Yes.
Yes.
All right.
Yep.
As you go inside, the inside is decorated really nicely. It's definitely a step above the exterior. However, it is not abnormally flamboyant by any means. You can see that there are several crystals, and you know, looking at them, you, Keadim, are aware that they're almost like batteries for Fabrials on the table. It looks like she's been doing some late night writing, as you see several papers. Most of them are kind of like written scratches through things, things like that, and so she's doing some editing at the moment. As you all come in the door, she closes the door behind you, walks over to a chair, sits down knee over knee, gestures to the other chairs for you all, and that's where we'll take a break.
All right.
So
Alright.
we'll see you all here shortly. Also, we will be playing Marisol's theme during the break, so we have our first composition that's out, so you can find that on our YouTube channel, so have fun. and welcome back.
Hello.
So, with that, you all are headed northwards. No, sorry, you're
No,
in,
we're already at the house.
Not yet. You're still in the house.
Yeah.
She kind of sits down and says, "Well, what sort of story do you have for me?"
I'm sticking like right next to the door at the wall because one, I didn't see her gesture to the seats, and
Fair
two,
enough.
I'm just sticking to a wall.
Okay.
Well, wouldn't the truth be more beneficial?
You're not familiar with how journalism works, are you? The story's gotta have flair to it. The fact that you're here tells me that there is flair. It's just a matter of whether you can tell it to me. Well, get on. What are we thinking?
We were wanting to arrange you to write a piece favorably in Paru's light, as clearly before you had your palms greased to write it in a less favorable light.
So you
Clearly. Sorry, go ahead.
You want a favorable piece of your dear friend Paru here. See, here's the thing. There is always a price for such favors, right? You want a favor, let's be honest here. Let's just be honest. I owed a favor to the Taxonari. Now I have fulfilled that favor and no longer am tied to it, so I am free to take on others.
Oh, that is beneficial to hear.
That being said, I have a price. Favorable for Paru. So here's the thing, I have to jeopardize my own liability as a journalist and go back on what I already said, so that's gonna cost quite a bit. I'm thinking...
If I may beg your pardon, but you kind of agreed to do that when you decide to write a column full of lies anyways.
See, but they eat up the lies. Truth doesn't matter. It's what people intrigues them, what they want to read, what they're drawn to, even if they won't accept it. So,
what if new evidence came to light?
Now, that's the way to think. New evidence does make the job a little easier. Maybe. What evidence do you have?
Nothing quite solid yet, fortunately.
Well, I can work with non-solid evidence. What's your evidence?
I know for 100% fact, Crows can use a chamber magic. I've witnessed it myself.
Now that is interesting, because I just so happen to be aware of a specific piece from Christu's diary that's going to be used tomorrow. So, what I would advise is figure out how to refute that. Here, hold on. I think I have a section of it here.
Did Paru have a chance to ditch Christu's diary? Because he was reading it in front, so...
Nope, you still
Paru
have
actually has it. Okay.
Also, as you, do you check your pack to, like, look at this?
Yeah, I think he would.
Okay.
Yeah.
If you check
He's
your
not
pack...
very smart, so he would kind of take out the diary as this is being mentioned, like, what would be disclosed in Christu's diary? I have it right here.
Inside, you have a inside of your pack is also a well-kept, leather, there's a well-kept, almost like leather box, if you will, like a case, a briefcase, almost, sort of, kinda. It looks familiar, but you're not sure from where.
I did not grab this. What's this doing in my bag?
Do you open it?
Yeah. Yeah, as he's finally having a chance to look through his stuff, he is going to kind of stuff the diary back into his bag because he wanted to read it, but he's instead going to take this box and he's going to open it.
Okay. You take the box and you open it, and inside is, though you didn't pay too much attention to it, what seems to be at least a majority of the makeup from Christu's room. All of it seems to be branded. All of it seems to be branded with the Smithstone label.
This was stuffed in my backpack. I think they're trying to frame me for theft too.
Iklin kind of makes a brief noise and takes his arm and puts it on yours again. Well, that's interesting.
Paru will close the case up, and he'll look to Monica. Obviously, I would not be willfully opening evidence to incriminate myself. You can write what you want, but as a thinker, you know that you're smarter than that.
Do you have anything else you're doing tonight?
Yes.
I assume you're going back to your cell. I imagine through some means you've made your way out here with no repercussions, which is remarkable. But if there's something else to do with the case that you're participating in, maybe I can weave a little bit more substantial story if I come with you. I had a feeling I would need to do my makeup early today.
Condition. We have an unknown source that we're meeting with. We
All
must
the
allow
more interesting.
Paru must make introductions first. You start tagging along all of a sudden as an unknown third party. Things will more likely than not get hostile.
Let's just ask. Is that okay? And I say it to Iklin.
I guess yes.
Ask.
You might.
Ask. What? Who?
I think Orchid wants to ask if Monica can come with us to meet you.
Not me. And this time Iklin for the first time raises his head and the eyes kind of focus on Paru. There's something very, very gentle in these eyes directed at you.
Does Paru recognize who would be behind this?
So you've heard rumors, occasionally, just from your, just from being around in circles, going through the alleyways, and this particular rumor, refers to your friend Katara, who, apparently left the Grove with her husband, and began to pursue a necromantic branch of druidcraft.
Katara. Interesting. Huh. Okay. That is interesting. Okay.
That being like that's the only like I would say like that's the only thing that comes to your mind in this moment about what's could be going on here. Of course, there is the thought in the back of your head is you know, maybe wishful thinking, but Christu is now a spirit.
Right.
So
okay. Interesting. Okay. Paru will say, so we're not going to meet. So the person controlling Iklin is not the benefactor who helped get me out.
no.
Well, I suppose
know
I don't
them.
have a choice.
Though.
I know them.
Third party. I would say that wasn't a no. We should bring her along. Maybe she can join in after you've made first contact.
Wonderful. I will get everything packed up. And she just goes over and grabs a bit of paper and a few fabrials. Inserts a crystal into one of them.
Soroko, come here. Get down off her bookshelf. He just snaps her out of existence.
All right. Excellent. Well, are we headed? We can talk on the way. I assume you're on a time schedule.
Yes.
Yes.
All right. Excellent. She kind of steps out the door before anyone else and says, well, let's
We
make
follow her.
haste.
We kind of have to follow Iklin, so we'll follow Iklin.
No, the paper told me the north side of town. So didn't say what building exactly, but I'm guessing if we head in that general direction, they found me once already, so they're probably already watching.
Very well.
That is if I've learned anything from working with some of these people such as you and Antoine.
Always have to have an eye out.
That is fair.
Shall we go?
Now,
Are you
just
okay
to,
with this, Paru?
It is all we have, so I have nothing to offer but the truth.
Well, we can talk about that truth on the way there. Second, this is a starting point. This is not my payment, so I'm willing to take a gamble right now because I feel like I just have a good feeling about this story. But there will be payment.
Understood.
And what while we're walking, because we got no time to waste, what is this payment, might I ask? Because I would place something about this around 200 gold.
I can offer you a significant percentage of that. But I definitely, I don't believe I could offer you all of it. However, I believe I could at the very least, help you make your story more substantial. I can offer you that off the top right away.
Don't leave the details to me. What I need compensation. And if y'all don't have any ideas, I have an idea.
I take it your credibility has no price.
I mean, I'll figure out a way around it.
If you ever have desires to spread your wings, proverbially, beyond this one claw, I have people who might be able to put you to heavy use. And they would pay substantially, I'm sure, for your services as well.
You're keeping things close to your chest, which means you got something worth hiding. Make a persuasion check. Flat. Or no, 11. As intriguing as that is, I don't think it'll quite cut it.
Keadim will pull out a signet ring. I can put you into connections very easily, and I'm sure that they would more than happily provide you with work to be done.
See, I've got a good situation here. I'll keep it in mind.
Let me put it this way. Here, you're a tool, and there's a ceiling that you're hitting. I'm sure you already know. This way you have more horizons to reach than just this one lonely part of the claw.
Not sure whether to take that as a compliment or an insult.
Take it as an opportunity.
Make one more persuasion check.
Switch my dice. Screw me. That's better. That is an 18.
It's a start. Let's say we're on exceedingly friendly terms from now on, and I'll consider it a deal.
Fair enough.
Is this agreeable to all of you?
Paru?
Involved.
I really don't want any of you indebted to her.
I will not be indebted to her.
Believe me, being indebted to me is not nearly as bad as it gets in this town.
I plan fully to maintain my word to Miss Glass here. She will have, I think, a very lucrative agreement, potentially.
I think that perhaps we should hear what my benefactor has to say first, because she may decide that it's not worth her time to write a story, clearing all this up.
I mean, the price is always... Price pays for a story in and of itself. I merely came along to make sure it was a little bit more realistic, since you're so concerned with truth. Orchid, you doing okay over there, hon?
I'm fine.
Someday I'm gonna find out your story too.
You leave her alone.
I don't have one. It's not very interesting.
Make a deception or persuasion check.
Well, that depends on if Orchid. I mean, they're probably the same, to be honest.
Yeah, I was about to say. I feel like Orchid understands her own story pretty.
I'll just click on persuasion just to roll something.
I
Okay.
would think she's interesting.
Yeah, she's definitely not interesting. That was a natural 20.
Fuck. Nice.
I can't believe
Well
that's
done.
what I got the natural 20 on tonight, but
I
whatever.
know. She's like,
We needed one.
maybe I'm a little wrong about you. It's a pity. I was looking forward to interviews with all of you because you just scream color. Anyways, I think we're about here. And as you guys arrive to the northern edge of town, there are no walls to this city, or at least none on the exterior, if you would. As you make your way north, there are two tabaxi sitting just underneath the trees outside.
Paru will look at them and try to gauge if they're the ones looking for him. Yeah, so he'll just kind of give them the once over and see if they're the ones looking for him.
Okay. As you look in that direction, you approach to a spot where they can see you, because no one said you were being stealthy here, so I'm going to assume you weren't. The female of the two kind of stands up and looks at you, and she's got this this kind of almost tabby cat colored fur, very like ginger in nature. She has a little bit of a harsher jawline, and her I don't know if they're called canines on cats.
Yeah, they are.
Okay, cool. The canines are definitely a little bigger than normal tabaxi, but she looks over you, having the earring that you remember all too well from her engagement, and she looks over at you. Paru. Okay, come quick. Deeper into the woods. We can't be seen.
Paru's going to kind of rush in that direction, and he'll turn back to the rest of the group and say, please follow me.
I follow as best I can.
All right, you guys, they lead you into the woods, down kind of a little bit of a forest path to what seems to be an encampment that they've kept, just kind of out of view, out of purview of the city, just so that they, have their own privacy. You can see that there are indeed a number of bones scattered around. There are elements of rituals here. And as Katara kind of looks to you, she says, I'm so glad we were the ones to make it first to you. Look, there's a lot going on. Do you remember the omen from a couple of 100 years ago from our druid grove?
No. I will be honest, I don't quite know who you are.
I'm Katara. We were friends growing up.
I always saw you as a wolf.
Oh. Well, maybe. I mean,
I think you mixed up my backstory a little bit.
oh, I was about to say, My bad. Okay, we're gonna change it. Meta switch here. She's a wolf tabaxi.
I mean, yeah.
Oh, is she an actual wolf?
Yeah.
Who's the one with the earring?
It was a wolf that basically Paru saw that it was basically this bird that was stuck in her ear, so he's like, oh. And so he
I read
jokingly
that
said
as like
that,
an actual tabaxi.
no, it was supposed to be a yeah, he always saw it as a wolf. I mean,
Alright.
so I mean, it
So
could
she's
still
a
be a
random
druid who's
tabaxi
always
from your
approached him
druid
as
grove.
a okay.
Cool.
Yeah,
That's
I'm
what we're
totally
gonna go
fine
with.
that. Yep, I'm totally fine with that. Cut.
Cut. Rewrite. This is where we will take out everything that was said over the last little bit. So as you guys reach these two tabaxi over here, anyways, so she introduces herself as Katara, and her husband, Ryan. Both are spelled interesting. Man, that is, what a day. What a day.
Sorry if I didn't make that backstory part
no,
clear.
you're good. Yeah. That's funny. Yeah, so, or sorry, not Ryan, Liam. Leom, and Katara is Ketara. And as you look to them, they say, look, word travels quick, and, well, a member from the Grove is, well, and furthermore, a cast out of the Grove is a friend among us.
What sort of... Wait, did you... How am I a friend if I'm a cast out? My parents surely do not like you, if that's the case.
That would be right. We took the Oracle, the Omen, a lot closer to our heart than many did. Of course, we won't do it justice as our old sages do, but if you recall, it states that as the past age wanes, the new age will recall the old. The unrested will walk again, their festering anger shall be felt, and the injustices of the past shall be known. Feuds and secrets will bring their sowers destruction, pride and vanity will bring retribution. The sins of the past, shrouded in shadow, will be brought into light. We sought to begin preparing for that. So we dabbled in necromantic practices that were forbidden.
I cannot say that that is the best course of action, but I suppose I shall not judge if you helped me either.
Look at it this way. We don't defile bodies. We give them the opportunity to speak of their woes. We grasp at the souls that have been so tortured over time, and it is centuries of these souls. We've been speaking with many of the ghosts and the spirits that haunt the Shrine of the Lost to the west. We're trying to negate the disaster. I hardly think that's a problem.
Well, if it is for the greater good, I suppose that is something I have never considered.
Necromancy works with the dead and uses it. We try to do the first.
As long as it is not anti-life.
We do our best not to touch too much of that. Today was a hard decision.
How so?
Well, the men who freed you once walked this city. They were only too happy to help, mind you, but they were assassinated by one of the many nobles in the city. Who knows how long ago? But to free someone else who is also being accosted by those privileged, well, they were only too happy to help, even if they can't express that.
Paru's going to take a look over at Monica real quick to see what she's doing and trying to figure out.
She is laser focused in on each person. Her quill fabrial is writing on its own, but she also has a notepad that she is writing on as well. So there are two quills going at the same time.
You see Quill mimicking by very similar things.
Okay. Then yeah, he's going to like shift his gaze over to Orchid and Keadim to kind of see how they're reacting and how they're feeling about this conversation.
So did you request, I guess, a spirit to possess Icklands? That way we could find our way here?
As you ask that question, Katara and Liam both kind of look at Icklin oddly, and she kind of goes over to his face and she presses her thumbs to his temples. You are so much deeper than many.
I believe he allowed the spirit entrance.
Of course. And so, in this moment, it takes you a few moments to realize what's going on, but it appears that there is some sort of communication happening between the two of them. As she kind of disregards you, Liam kind of goes over and says, "Well, that would make sense. This is a newborn spirit." And Katara kind of closes her eyes, and a brief humming begins to emanate from her fingertips, and she lets go. And Icklin becomes fully animated. Paru. Fuck, this voice is not my voice.
Yes.
You saved me from a life that would have been fragmented in a lot of mental ways, and I see that now, and I am so grateful. But I have unfinished business. And I don't know what that is, but I am sticking around for a bit, even if you can't see me.
I'm sorry, but who are you?
If I had my body, I would kiss you. It's Christu.
Oh, I don't. Sorry,
I know it's odd hearing me in this voice. Even now, I'm getting odd about it. But I just. Can I have a hug?
Yeah. Paru just. He really hasn't had a chance to really process what's happened with Christu.
Mm-hmm.
So even though it is Icklin's
Abrupt.
body,
Yeah.
he is like just the idea of Christu asking for a hug. He like quickly like leans in and like reaches over for a hug and just like embraces Icklin while Chris do.
Yeah. The hug is a lot more bear huggy than your last embrace with Christu. There's probably some amount of strength that she doesn't understand that she possesses in this moment. And she kind of breaks away quickly. You can see there's kind of a weird there's a weird concept going on with her right now. Anyways, I wanted to speak with you. Since we had such a fragment of time. Or just hear your voice. I don't need to speak. I already kind of told you everything. But sorry, I'm interrupting. At this point, you can see Monica is going wild. She's just riding everything.
Christu, I wish that what little time we have together isn't spent like this, but I'm in trouble. Perhaps you can spend what time you have to tell this reporter here, just the people who wronged you, the truth about the enchantment and Crowis's involvement, because you know deep down it wasn't me.
Yes. I have been wandering around and noticed a few things. They're using a fabricated journal of mine. It's not correct. You have mine. That's from my heart. At this point, what is Orchid's expression here? Like, how is she kind of carrying herself?
Unsure. Like, she's preferably going to disappear into the background.
Okay. Paru, I never told you, but despite us being betrothed, there was a reason that I never let you meet my parents. They were violently opposed to us being wed. They had a slew of reasons, and I left their company because I thought what we had was true love. And I guess they were working behind my back. They have been fabricating so much about this story, about you. They've basically taken what Kroos was doing and pinned it on you. I might be able to help you find certain things, for my soul cannot wander too far from you, which is interesting.
Anything you can give, I would appreciate it. If I could trade places with you so you could walk on the earth again, I would.
Monica kind of pokes up and says, how romantic. Just so you know, that went real weird. Alright, well, just so you know, there actually is a way you can do that, but She kind of fades back in the background and begins writing again.
How?
Oh, some magic. Not aware of it. Continues writing. Paru, don't... That's not what this is about. I'll be around. And maybe I can haunt someone to help change their mind. I don't know.
I don't want to use you like that.
It's me seeking my own justice as much as you are.
Well,
I'm stuck here. I might as well. Paru. And kind of takes your hands. I care for you. This is not a one-way road, and I know that it felt like that for so long for you.
it did. But I never stopped believing.
So, believe me when I say I want to help.
If we can get the truth to Monica here, I think that should be enough. Don't you think, Monica?
It's a start, but I can carry us the rest of the way. As she kind of sits down and tells the story, Christu kind of relays the memories in some amount of caginess, you know, to Monica. You know, she kind of leaves back a few details, and for those of you who might be watching what she's writing, she's taking a lot of creative liberties, shall we say. And she has quite the task ahead of her for the morning. Like, from Christu's perspective, it appears that Crois basically took the memories that she had of Paru and kind of flipped them on her head. He never really manipulated anything other than her memories of Paru. It was more of a eliminate the threat situation than anything else. That being said, she has a very emotional time trying to relay all this information, and at times has to stop and take a moment, and Iklin's body kind of reacts in a semi non-functional way almost. But as the story kind of comes to a close, the druids kind of look to Paru. Look, it's getting close to time. We're not sure how much more service those souls are going to be able to provide. You probably need to make your way back.
Yes. Should I be free? I just want you to know that I believe there is a way we can integrate the life of nature with the civilization of mankind. Well, I guess that's the lack of a better word, mankind. But if you wish to learn about my philosophies, since you have broken from home and you do not have your own circle, I would like the opportunity for us to gather and have our own way of integrating nature with civilization.
Perhaps we start our own grove. Seems to be what you're implying.
Yes.
We can work together. That sounds good to me.
Yes.
You know where to find us.
And you know how to find me.
We do.
So Paru looks to Monica and says, I trust you will write the truth. And all I can do is hope that the laws that civilization has established will set me free based on that truth. Then he'll look to Orchid and say, Orchid, whatever happens tomorrow, thank you again for being my friend for the time that we've known each other. There's no one I've been able to trust in these times more than you. And then he will look over to Keadim and say, thank you for all that you have done as well, and gathering people up and finding the information as far as what happened with Christu. I'm indebted to you for, if anything, finding me the closure that I need, just in case things do not work in my favor tomorrow.
Never at all. You don't owe me anything. I never leave someone to be left hanging in the breeze to just steer political will.
It is still appreciated. And then finally he'll look over to Iklin and still, still seeing Christu, for lack of a better word, say, I'm sorry again.
No.
I just love you so much. And I can't imagine the world with you not as you were, and so that was a very hard choice.
Well, now you won't have to. At least, well, sort of. I don't know. I feel as though we will be reunited sometime.
In time, I'm sure we will be, when our spirits find each other again. But be well until I speak with you again. And I shall simply hope for favorable results tomorrow.
I will too. I will be there. I need to leave this body soon, though. It's
Of course.
starting to hurt. So, I love you, and I'll be around. And you watch as the look kind of goes blank from Iklin. He wakes up, and I don't like to play other player characters, but he's his bright, cheery self with very dark circles under his eyes. With that, we can go ahead and have you all kind of go back to your places of origin, shall we say, for the night. Is there anything else anyone would like to do? It is about 4 a.m.
Keadim will collect his cloak from Paru once he has sufficiently made it back to where he needs to be. Probably expending the last... Well, actually, no, it's past midnight. It gets all its charges back. So we're going back to that. Okay. So I will recollect that. And I will also, just because I'm curious. Oh, for that time. Yeah, sure, I'll do it anyway. No, I won't. Never mind. Not gonna do it.
Okay.
Okay.
Not gonna do it.
Orchid is going to give Paru her lockbox.
What is this?
It's got your money in it, and got my money in it, and a necklace, and I thought it might help pay for any burial or anything that might need to be done.
I appreciate it, and it is not that I am ungrateful, but I do not trust the people who are keeping me captive, and they may take this for themselves, so would you do me the honor of continuing to watch over my money for me?
Yeah, I'll hold on to it until you're free.
Sure. Thank you, as always.
All right. You guys make your way back. Paru, the animated skeletal guards, you see that one seemed to have some very faint illusion of you in the chair, almost completely motionless, that fizzles away as you assume your spot. In the wee hours of the morning, they make their way out, and with everyone in their own spots, I believe everyone was at the... Well, actually, I'm not sure you all established a place to sleep for the evening. Imagine Orchid makes her way back to her room.
Yes.
Keadim?
I think I'll probably follow Ficklin. We would probably stay at the Midnight Amarillo.
Okay. You do grab a late night room to get a power nap. The wee hours of the morning. And with that, we shall end session. So, thank you guys for watching, and we will see you next week.
Thank you. Have a good week, everyone.